Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
This ellipse and whatever is there inside it, that is the water plane area. So it is not this area, okay? Don't get confused. It is not the total area outside, nor is it the total area inside here. It is the total area inside this ellipse. Total area on that ellipse, rather. Total area on the ellipse, that is what we call by water plane area. So once you have, what it says is that the body is actually inclining. According to this, if this is equal to 0, it means that this point that you are considering is actually the centroid. So that means the body is actually inclining about the centroid. So this is the thing that I am going to conclude from this, which is the reason why we did all this exercise. You remember what is trimming? We have talked only about heel, but this is, I'm just extending it for trimming also, which is true, which we'll come to later. But right now we have just proved it for healing, but it's true for trimming also. When a body heals or trims, it does so about the centroid of the water plane area. So if you have a ship, let's see, if you have a ship like this, okay, looking from the top, this is the water plane area, and this area here is known as the wetted area, wetted surface area. That is not needed here, but I'm just saying this is known as a wetted surface area. And when you are looking from here, these areas are known as cross-sectional areas. So we are not talking about any of them, we are talking about the water plane area. So when you look from the top, this area is the water plane area. This water plane area's centroid, there is some centroid for this area, right? So about that area, whenever it inclines in any direction, in the healing or in the trimming, it inclines about this center of flotation. It always trims. Oh, I didn't tell you. It trims about the centroid of this area, and this centroid of area for centroid of the water plane area of a ship is known as center of flotation. Centroid of the water plane area, which is known as, this thing is known as center of flotation. Flotation. Please note that this is an important question. This, in fact, it is asked many times and many people don't say that. When a ship trims or heals, it does not trim about the midship. Okay, it does not heal about the midship. It heals or trims about its center of flotation, which is the centroid of the water plane area. Okay, that was one big derivation. Okay, then now this is a general formula. Okay, I didn't do that now. See, when there is a body and there are a lot of systems, there are a lot of bodies in a system, and when we talk about the center of gravity, the distance, if let's say one of the bodies is moved through a distance d, there is a small weight w, it is moved through a distance small d. If actually the proof for that you read from the text, it's very simple. It's just it's very simple. So let's assume one of the weights is w, it is moved a distance d. That means the distance through which the ship's centroid will be moved is the distance w into d by w. This is if the weight is, if there is a weight on the ship and the weight is moved then the distance through which the center of gravity of the ship will move is W into D by W. Now, if a weight is added to the ship, when a weight is added to the ship with its own weight of W, then and then it is moved a distance D, then this will be W into D by W plus W. Actually, you can imagine it because the total weight is not just W at that time. In this case, a new weight is added to the ship. In this case, a weight that is already on the ship is moved, which means that W is actually contained within this capital W. That is the only thing. If this small W is contained within the capital W in this case scenario, whereas in this scenario, W plus W is, the W is, this small w is not inside the capital W. So we add a weight W onto the ship. So the total weight becomes capital W plus small w. So this you should know actually. Now, therefore, if you just look a little bit, you will see that now what I told you was for the weight. The fact is, this same thing holds good for moment of volume also. Like we talked about the center of gravity. There is a centroid of volume also. Centroid of volume can be calculated in the same manner. If V1, V2, V3, V4, V5 are 5 volumes on the ship in different parts, and they are at the positions x1, x2, x3, x4, x5. The position of the centroid of volume will be V1 x1 plus V2 x2 plus V3 x3 plus V4 x4 plus V5 x5 divided by V1 plus V2 plus V3 plus V4 plus V5. This whole thing, that will give you the centroid of the volume also. Volume also follows the same principle as the weight or mass. Mass, weight, volume, everything follows the same principle. They all have a centroid like that. So the change in coordinate for a ship, therefore, is the change in moment of volume. What does it mean? It means that V into D. V into D is the moment. D is the distance through which the volume. In this is a case for volumes. Okay. So if small d is the distance through which a small volume V in the ship is moved, then the change in volume coordinate for the ship will be change in moment of volume, which is V into D divided by the total volume. So in the y direction, this will be from the previous section, we saw that what is the volume? This volume is y tan phi dx dy. We saw that in the previous section. I'm just taking it from the previous section. And to get the moment into D, to get the moment of that volume, you multiply it with the, if you want to find the change in coordinate of y, you multiply. For example, here, okay, first let me write this. Now this is something which is this thing. This is known as the second moment of area. I strongly suggest that you slightly go over this old section. This basically comes from the moment of inertia. You must have studied. Like if you do, it will be something like this. If m is a mass, and integral y square dm will give you the moment of inertia. I'll write it here, moment of inertia. and when it is not a mass but it's an area like you have here, it is known as the second moment of area. So this thing is the second moment of area, is usually in our naval architecture it's written as I only, I divided by del from here. This is I divided by del into tan phi. This is YB. This is the distance through which the centroid of the centroid of the underwater volume moves because of the healing. This will be made a little more clearer. I know it's a little confused now, but it will become a little more clearer with this next figure. Remember this expression, okay? I by del tan phi is YB. Now you probably haven't understood what is YB, most likely. So let us see what is YB. So this is the same figure, that cross-sectional figure. So you have a W0, L0, and you have the vertical here. And let us suppose that the ship is inclined through an angle W phi L phi. It is inclined through an angle phi into the position W phi L phi. Now we know that we have G here, we have G0 here, we have B0 here. This is the center of buoyancy initially, then it shifted to here. This is B1 or B5. This is depending upon the book, okay, whether they call it B1 or, and this one, this is M, okay, so M B5, so this is 5. Then this is B5. This point is B5. Then now the question is, so what we are saying is that because of the ship inclining or heeling, because of its one part of the ship got submerged, the other part of the ship got emerged. So because of that, the centroid of the ship has moved from B0 to B5. This is the, okay, one more thing before we go into that. There are three directions for a ship. They are, one, if the ship is like this direction is known as longitudinal direction. The XX direction is known as the longitudinal direction. And then this distance, this direction, this is YY, this is Y direction. YY is usually called as a transverse direction. So we'll just be mentioning these things right now, I mean after this. And the ZZ direction is, as you can imagine, it is the vertical direction. ZZ. It is the vertical direction.
So
yeah. Yes. Yes. Okay.
Hello.
So yes. Okay, so you have the longitudinal direction, XX direction is the longitudinal direction, YY direction is the transverse direction, and ZZ direction is the vertical direction. So once you have these things, in this problem, okay, so this distance, so this is a, I told you this is a cross-sectional area. First of all, if you are unclear on what this figure is, it is a cross-sectional area like this. This is a cross-section of the ship, okay? So this movement, what is this distance? This distance is actually this YB that we mentioned in the previous expression. There is a Y, this is the transverse distance that the y, the center of buoyancy travels, the transverse distance that the center of buoyancy travels, that is yb. This is yb. So b0. So now what we can see is that first we can say is that b0m phi. What basically we see that this is b0m. Okay, this is b0m into phi. Phi is this angle, and therefore b0m into phi will give you this arc of a circle. This is actually an arc of a circle. Okay, this b0 has gone like an arc up to b phi. This is b phi, in case this is confusing. So this is b phi. So b0 m phi is actually r theta. R theta is equal to the length of the arc is equal to the length of b0 b phi. It is the length of this arc. Now what we are doing is slightly the part we assume. Remember, this also it will help you to remember, because after some time we are going to say that we did the whole thing previously for that. What we are saying is that these are all for small angles of heel. Small angles of heel means less than 10 degrees. Okay, so small angle, we are dealing all these things for small angle of heels, for small angles of heel. So which for that we are going to assume that the length of this arc b0 to b5 is equal to this yb. This yb. The length of this arc is actually equal to this square plus this square, probably something like that. So the vertical distance, the zb, the vertical distance through which it moves is very small. We assume that it is negligible, and therefore b for this is equal to yb. The transverse distance through which b0 has shifted, means the horizontal distance through which b0 has shifted, this distance, the horizontal distance, this is yb. This is equal to, we are saying it is equal to b0 b5, where b0 b5 is the length of this arc. So therefore we get b0 m phi, and in the previous expression we got that yb is equal to yb, and from the previous expression we got it as I by del tan phi. Therefore now what we are going to assume, again an assumption, we assume that this is why this assumption is very important. It's a small angle of heel. For small angles of heel, tan phi is equal to phi. Okay, for small angles of heel, tan phi is equal to phi. So this is equal to phi itself. Therefore I am cancelling out phi, and b0m or bm, for in general we'll write it as bm, is equal to I by del. Now you have to know very clearly what is I. I is the second moment of area. I is the second moment of area of what? Of the water plane area. Of the water plane area. It is the second moment of area of the water plane area. Okay, that is known as I. I'll give you an example. For example, I am taking this case, and this is basically again bm. This distance that the distances we are talking about here. This thing is transverse. Okay, so this is actually bm transverse. This is equal to I transverse divided by del. Now what is I transverse? You look at this figure. If you have a ship like this, I transverse is the moment of inertia about this center line. This is known as a center line. It is about a longitudinal axis. This I about this axis, and how will you calculate I about this axis? Of the water plane area. Now how will you calculate it? There are some standard formulas for calculating the second moment of areas. It is just like moment of inertia, whatever you have studied for moment of inertia in some. Yeah.
Sir, can you once specify the longitudinal, transverse, and vertical direction?
Yeah. Can you see this figure? Can you see this mobile? No.
Can it be lifted, sir?
Yeah, like this. Okay. Wait. Let me draw probably. This is a ship. Okay. Okay, this is x longitudinal. Okay, now like this, it is not, I'm not talking about going up, it's not the vertical distance, this is y like this. So like this, x, like this, y, and like this, z. Z is vertical, y is to like this, so that is transverse. Y is transverse. This is very important. You have to get this right because you are going to depend, all your moment of inertias are going to depend on that. For example, what I just said, moment of inertia of the water plane area. Let us assume for a simple case, let us assume you are dealing with a rectangle. Okay. What I said was you have to get the moment of inertia about the center line. The moment of inertia about, it will be a moment of inertia about this, and it is given by, if this is L and this distance is B, it is given by LB cubed by 12. Now what I am telling you, what I would advise you is, there are a couple of figures which we use regularly in this course, so that you find out. One, you'll need a rectangular, you need a square, and you need a circle. I think this will work, this will be enough. Circle is pi d power 4 by 64. Pi d power 4 by 64. This is the I of a circle, which means that if the water plane area, like the ship, suppose the ship is a circle like this, the water plane area will be pi d power 4 by 64. That will be the water plane area. Actually, that is the water plane area about any axis. There is the transverse axis, this is this longitudinal axis. Again, this is the longitudinal axis, this is the transverse axis, and this is the vertical axis. Okay, that is the main thing. So now we have covered quite a bit of portions. Let me see.
Sir,
Yeah.
sir, I transverse.
What? I think you have a speaker problem, no? Or microphone problem.
No, sir. Anyone is muting him.
Huh?
Yes, sir.
Everyone is, you're not following?
Sir, whenever we ask a question, someone is muting us.
Muting you. Who's doing that? Actually,
Sir, there are 27 presenters. Anyone can mute us.
I think there should be some way in which I can prevent others from muting, no? I don't know how to do that. That is a
Yes,
whole
sir, it's there.
Attendees. Make them attendees, sir.
I don't know who's how to do that, but this is all very childish. I don't know who is doing such crazy things.
So if you can get to that window, maybe we can guide you.
Where should I go?
So
Yeah.
you should go back.
Probably it's in this actually.
Sir, click the triple dot.
Triple dot.
Triple dot in participant.
Huh?
You have to like click on the people's option, sir. Like the one looks like.
Hand. This one.
No, sir. Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
This one. Okay.
Yes, sir.
You are recording. Okay. Let me see.
Sir, click on it. Click the triple dot in the part.
This
Sir,
one.
nearby participants.
So in the
Like,
participants.
In the participants.
Participants.
This. Oh God. Okay. Here. Oh. This triple dot.
Yes, sir.
Oh, mute all. Shall I mute all? Then if you want, you just you won't be able to unmute yourself then.
Click on three parts, three dots.
That's all. Download attendance list.
So you should have been able to make everyone attendee, but it's not there.
There is a way to do. Okay. I'll do one thing. I'll ask somebody else, and I'll maybe for the next class I'll try to figure out. But please don't do this. This is very irritating. Don't mute and all. That is all. Okay.
Sir, I was saying,
Again muted.
Yes, sir. He's been muted again.
so I transverse is for rotating about transverse axis.
No, that is a very good question you asked. Actually, what we'll do is I'll just tell you now, and the explanation I'll give you in the next chapter. Actually, if you look very carefully in this, I said this is an I transverse, right? I transverse is actually about a longitudinal axis. If you think carefully, you will see why it is. Because the distances are taken transverse. It is the transverse distance from a center line, which is a longitudinal axis. So this transverse moment of inertia is always about a longitudinal axis. You will see if you are, for example, if you take the moment of inertia of this, if you take the moment of inertia about this line, then this is LB cubed by 12. This thing is cubed, something like that. This is the transverse, no? So the transverse distance is, what else is the best way to do it? It comes in the next chapter actually. I'll explain it further there, okay? But remember that this is something that you have to remember very carefully. The transverse moment of inertia is always taken about a longitudinal axis, because we are taking transverse distances from the longitudinal axis. That is actually one of the most confusing things in this, probably. But it will come again. But you have to get this thing right. You know, if you don't get this, this longitudinal transverse, what I'll do is I'll give you an assignment which will tell you what this is probably. You have to, you know, this longitudinal and transverse, the direction should be clear first. Like you asked, you should be clear about which is the direction of transverse and which is the direction of longitudinal. Case one, number one. Then you should know moment of inertia is taken about which of those axes. Moment of inertia can be taken about that longitudinal axis, which is the XX. That is the easiest way to remember. You know, if you have a ship like this is XX, this is YY, and this is ZZ, or XX, YY, ZZ. So this of these, this is the longitudinal axis, this is the transverse axis, and this is the vertical axis. Vertical axis, of course, there is no big problem. That is Z axis. The Y is transverse axis. What is it? So healing is basically, see, you remember, healing is not about the, healing is about this axis, and trimming is about this axis. This axis. I'll come to that. For the time being, let it be. I'm just making you more and more confused, I think. So we'll come to that in the next section.
So,
but remember, yes, you got the point?
So I have a doubt. When we consider the water plane area in that figure, ellipse figure, in that we consider YY to be longitudinal. Can you show that once again?
No. YY is not the longitudinal.
YY is the transverse now. So
YY is the
so by
transverse.
convention we take
Actually,
YY to be transverse.
Yes, YY is actually the transverse. Actually, you know what, the only difference that will happen if you consider that problem, actually, I'll tell you why. In that problem, or in any problem, in this tilting problem, if you consider this YY and the XX difference, when you take a tilting about this XX in that, okay, if you assume that XX to be the transverse, if you tilt about the transverse axis, you get healing. If you transverse about the longitudinal axis, you get trimming, okay?
Okay.
Now, actually, I'm confusing it. Let me see. 1 minute. I'll tell you now.
Yes, so before you told healing is about longitudinal axis, what you are telling now.
Sorry, that's fair. I think I got it wrongly. Healing is about the longitudinal axis. Okay, right? This is healing. This is about a longitudinal axis. About this axis, it heals. And tilting and trimming is about this axis. About this axis. That is the about this axis. I'm confused. Just a minute. 1 minute.
Sir, it is getting confusing.
Yes, it's a bit confusing. Just hold on. I'll start from the beginning again. That's probably better.
So I think trimming is along vertical axis.
Actually, why? No.
The transverse axis is along the water plane area, na?
No.
If we cut along breadth.
Like this. If you trim, okay, this is trimming. Okay, you see this? You see this mobile? Can you see this mobile?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. This trimming is like this. Okay. It trims about this axis.
Yes, sir.
This is the transverse axis. Now, this is healing. Okay. It heals about this axis. It is the longitudinal axis. Right?
Yes, sir.
That is answer. I confused you some. I also got confused in the middle talking about all this principle. So basically, this is how it is. So you have healing is about the longitudinal axis and trimming. So that question that she asked me, that problem is actually not exactly for healing or for trimming. The only difference is if you heal about the YY axis or ZX axis, the difference is that one is healing and one is trimming. Both follow the same principle. We'll see after some time trimming follows the same principle as healing. So your question is, it doesn't matter whether if it is trimming about, if that YY is taken as the transverse axis, then it is trimming. They are studying trimming. If they are taking it that YY, if they are taking as the longitudinal axis, then they are studying healing. In that problem, it is the initial what a figure I showed you. It is not exactly told which is healing or trimming. So you can take it. I think let's see what they assumed. I'll just look at the textbook and tell you what they have assumed, and that will be better. It just says inclination. Body submerged. It just says body is inclined by an angle phi. It doesn't say anything about healing, or actually the concept of healing and trimming has not come yet in this textbook. Okay, did you understand what I'm saying?
Okay, sir.
This is true for both trimming and healing. But if it is trimming about if you take YY to be, so that figure, it doesn't represent particularly trimming or particularly healing. It just represents inclinations. And if you look at that figure is not a ship actually. And when it is not a ship and it's just a body, you saw that figure. It is just a body.
Eclipse.
It's a ellipse. Okay. The body. It is just a body. It doesn't say whether it is for this body. There is no particular trimming or healing. There is no such thing. For example, how are you assuming that which is trimming and which is healing? There is no way to assume that. The only way you can do is we can assume that like a ship, this distance is probably the long distance. So let's call that as this whole distance. YY distance is the long distance. So let us call that as XX. It becomes XX in your ship, and this becomes YY. Or if this distance is longer, then you have to assume this to be XX and this to be YY. So you just assume for your case, let us assume the very simple thing, which is the most sensible thing to assume. You assume that xx is longitudinal. Okay. You assume that xx is longitudinal and yy is transverse. Then the problem is solved. Then you don't have any confusion, and we are talking about healing. We are talking about healing now. So just assume we are talking about healing only now. And in this, xx is horizontal, longitudinal, and yy is transverse. But the only difference here is that the xx is actually smaller than the yy, which is strange considering a ship. If you're considering a ship, the xx cannot be usually smaller than yy. But here, xx is smaller than yy. You assume like that. So this xx is longitudinal and yy is the transverse. So this is healing. Okay.
Okay, sir.
That is the thing. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Now what we have is now you have a slightly shady direction derivation coming up. This is actually the problem when we are dealing with two books. I'm going parallelly in both the books. In one of the books, they have already defined a ship. They have already defined a the transverse axis, the longitudinal axis, the ship's bow, aft, etc. In the other problem, they are just dealing with inclination, simple bodies of inclination and inclination theories. And whenever a body inclines, this is what happens, like that. It hasn't gone into healing, trimming, or anything. In fact, it hasn't even gone in. The Adrian Beran book hasn't even gone into ship particulars as such. It is just dealing with the basic principles of flotation. It's just flotation for any kind of body, and the moment theorems for any kind of body, and this I and all is for any general body. But this book, the other book, has actually already gone into a shift, and there, for example, I'm going to do a derivation. The same thing which we derived last time, we saw that BM, that metacentric, this is another thing. This is always asked, in the Viva, and a lot of people get B. So BM, this we derived just now. BM is equal to I by del. Now this is what we derived is BM transverse, which will include I YY. BM transverse is I about the central line. Again, I made a mistake. Sorry. What should be there? You tell me.
Sir,
BM transverse is moment of inertia about which axis?
IXX.
Longitudinal axis. It is XX. IXX divided by del. Now, okay, that is one thing. Now we come into the thing, same thing for a ship. By the way, one thing also, this actually comes in a later text, but it's better to explain this. This is known as IT. This whole thing, I don't know who derived it, but whoever did that has made it extremely complicated. It is like this. BMT, transverse moment of transverse metacentric radius. This is BM is metacentric radius. BM is metacentric radius. So this one, BMT is equal to Ixx divided by del, where Ixx is equal to IT transverse. It is known as the transverse moment of inertia. Because this is BMT, this is known as the transverse moment of inertia. Transverse moment of inertia is the moment of inertia about a longitudinal axis. The reason for that being called a transverse moment of inertia is distances are taken from the longitudinal line as the transverse in the transverse direction. So it is known as the transverse moment of inertia about the longitudinal axis. It is the moment about the longitudinal. This again comes very big detail. So I'll go into that at that time more. So right now let us go into this derivation. This will take some time. I am wondering if I should do that. I think I'll stop here today because I have a meeting also now. And I won't be able to finish this anyway. So actually, we have some more time actually. Or I'll just start it. We'll just start with that and then I'll leave you after some time. Let's just start this section. Let us explain this figure. Sorry, it's stuck. Okay. So this is one figure. Now I'm going into this figure. Okay, this is the cross section of a box-shaped barge. A box-shaped barge means it's a rectangular box. It's known as a barge. So box-shaped barge. Now what it shows is there is a this is the center line. This is the center line, and at that point, and this is the water line W0 L0. Now because of some reason the ship heels, in this case heels to an angle, to some angle. Here the angle is given as theta. So in one book it mentions the angle of heel always as phi and theta as the angle of trim. So please don't get confused. The other book, Adrian Biran, follows phi as the angle of heel and theta as the angle of trim, but this book follows theta as the angle of heel. Okay, so this, once you have this, theta is the angle of heel here, and let us assume that W0 L0 is the initial horizontal water line, and W theta L theta is the final, that is also horizontal, but at final water line. Now, as you can see, a small, so basically the ship has trim like this. It has trim like this. Heel. The ship has heel like this, and therefore, what we have is a small, this region, this much region of the ship has gone into the water, and this much region, I'm just pointing out here, this much region of the ship has gone out of the water. So this much region has gone into the water, and this much region has come out of the water. Okay. Now, when you have that, now let us see this. So initially, it is at a, it has a center of buoyancy of B0. Its center of buoyancy is at B0, and finally, its center of buoyancy is at B theta, and its meta center is M0. So let us see what it comes to. This figure is required actually, but we'll come to it. Now, this small volume and a small volume emerges at the left. Now, let that volume we usually call a wedge. Usually call a wedge of volume. Why is it called a wedge? Because that figure you will see that wedge looks like this is the volume that emerged out of the water, and this is the volume that submerged into the water. So this is like a wedge, no? It looks like a wedge. So this also looks like a wedge. So we say that the wedge of volume that has emerged, and this is the wedge of volume that has submerged. So once you have that, okay. So you have this, then if you remember the figure, I'll just do this much and stop here. I'll show you what this means. V is the, do you know what this is, by the way? Just when somebody can make a wild guess of what this is. But what does that equation just look like? See, if some small volume in a ship or any body, if a small volume is displaced through a distance small d, then the distance through which that volume is, a small volume is displaced through a distance d, then the distance through which the centroid of the volume, centroid of the whole ship, volume of the whole ship will shift is, remember, V into D by V, capital V. I hope I am not talking where you don't understand. You understood what this is? We wrote like this, no?
Yes, sir.
So this doesn't have to be a weight. This can be a volume also. So this is a small volume in the underwater volumes. We are talking about underwater volumes. If a small underwater volume V changes, or a small underwater volume V shifts by a distance d, then the center of buoyancy of the ship, will shift through a distance V into d by capital V. That is what this is actually. B0, B1 is the distance through which the center of buoyancy of the ship is shifting because of a V, small v. Let's look at the figure. the volume of this wedge. Can you tell me what will be the volume of that wedge? What is the area of that wedge? I think either people have gone to sleep or. So volume of the wedge will be, you should know, it is half this distance or half base, half this distance into this distance will be the area of this volume. And what will be its thickness? Thickness will be like this, into the plane of the paper, into and out of the plane of the paper, which is the length of the ship. The length of the ship will go into and out of the plane of the paper, no? This is a cross section. So the ship is like this. This is a cross section like this. So basically, the length of the ship will go into and out of the plane of the paper. So this will be area of this thing, area of this triangle into the length. That will be the volume of the part going, volume of the wedge emerging, and this will be the volume of the wedge submerging. And we assume that the volume of wedge submerging and the volume of wedge emerging are the same because the ship is symmetrical. Okay, and so what we can assume is that, tell me if you understand this. If you don't understand this, we'll start the same thing from the next class. From the beginning we'll start. It's not a problem. There is no hurry, that we have a lot of time. So what we will do, what I'll just tell this, and then you see a volume V, small v, is the volume of this wedge, which is basically the area of this triangle into this distance like this. That distance is the volume of the wedge, and that volume of the wedge has shifted to this side here because it has emerged here and it has submerged here. So it is like saying it has shifted from here to here. This volume has shifted from here to here. Is that clear, or just tell me? At least one person?
Yes.
One person? Is it clear what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I think. Okay,
No,
good.
sir.
Okay, it doesn't matter. We'll in the next class we'll start from the beginning. It's not a problem. And this, in fact, this part is the most confusing, and mainly the most confusing thing is this transverse and longitudinal moment of inertia. You will now be doing problems on that. It'll keep coming up. This transverse, which is the transverse moment of inertia. All these things are related to that. So in the next class, I am going to start from the beginning again. Not beginning, this part again. I just wanted to point out here that what I am trying to talk about is the distance through. This is a volume that has emerged. This is a volume that has emerged, and this is a volume that has submerged. That much is clear.
Yes, sir.
One volume has emerged and one volume has submerged. So if you are considering underwater volumes alone, it is like saying that a volume from here, okay, a negative volume from here has has been added. To this point, a negative volume has been added, and to this point, a positive volume has been added, which is like saying that a volume has been shifted from here to here. That is what I have been trying to tell you, but if it's not clear, we'll come into that in the next class. A volume has been shifted from, when I point out, it's not clear, no? Okay, a volume has been shifted from this point to this point. There is a volume here, there is a volume here. This volume has emerged, this volume has submerged. So it's as if this volume has been shifted to here. So G0 is the centroid of this volume, and though it is called G, it is not the center of gravity actually. It's actually the centroid of volume. This is the G0 has shifted to G1, which means this is the centroid of the initial volume that is submerged, and emerged, and this is the G1 is the centroid of the volume that has submerged. So it is as if a volume has been shifted from here to here. Is that clear, or we'll come to that? This takes time. That's okay. Doesn't matter. We'll do this again in the next class. I'll start from this before this figure itself. I'll do that. What she asked me.
Sir.
Yeah.
So G0 is the centroid of this volume.
Volume. Centroid of. Sorry. Sorry, just a minute. Yeah.
Sir, I was saying G0 is the centroid of this
Zero
volume.
is the centroid of this volume. This small area you see here. Okay, this area. And then there is a volume, no? As associated distance is there. It is the centroid of this. G0 is the centroid of this area or volume. Do you understand what I say? Do you know what G0 is? Actually the centroid of what? I'll tell you in a 1 minute. I'll tell you one more thing. This triangle, okay, okay, it has a centroid equal to 2/3 of its distance from this vertex. Is that right? I think you should know that. You should be knowing it. A triangle has a centroid at a distance of 2/3 distance from a vertex. Okay. There is a formula like that. You should know that. It's there for JE and all, I'm sure.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so there is that is known as the centroid of this. So this G0 is that. It is the centroid of this triangle. It is actually, this distance is actually 2/3 of this distance. 2/3 of the whole distance. This triangle's 2/3 distance is this altitude distance. Now is it clear? That is G0. G0 is.
Yes, sir.
Let's do one thing. Let's stop it here. I have a meeting actually. We'll continue in the next class. Monday we will continue, and I'll put a small test probably on Monday. There'll be a quiz most likely, and 10 marks. Okay, based on whatever we have done after that. Huh? Yeah, a quiz. Yeah, or it might not be there also. I'm not sure. It's not, you will have to attend and see if it is coming up or not. And this time I'll please submit it within at least 3 or maximum 3 minutes. You can take extra, not more than that. Okay.
Sir, try not to include today's part because we are still not clear with all this. Today's part.
Okay. I'll do
Try
one
to
thing.
cover-
I'll take this section again because I think today's section I'll take again on Monday. It'll be faster.
Yes,
I'm not going to. I won't have to explain it like this the next time. So I'll go faster and I'll take that, and then we'll have a test. So I will include this section. So, but by that time you would have understood. Hopefully by that time. Okay then. So I'm going to stop it here. Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.